Hello there, I'm Ariel with arielselwyn.com. Check out my website for your best tips for keeping your family healthy. But in this video, I'm going to be giving you prep tips for mock class success. All right, so let's get started. So you all know how to, do your mock class. Your mentor has given you some, hopefully some emails with some video links, but I just want to give you some suggestions as well, because I know I learn from watching videos, not so much from reading. So I want to give you my best tips. So obviously you want to use as much TPR as possible. So as much as you can use your hands, obviously when you're doing we all know, good job, great job, high five, do as many different, great job, high five, clap. I know some people like to use the fist bump, but also when you're talking, when you're speaking, try to use as many hand gestures as possible. The mentors love that, and the kids love that as well. And you'll see that the kids start picking that up, and they'll do it too. And just like, think, when you use, it's a big thing to use sign language with babies to help them start speaking. It's just like that, we learn with our hands. So try to use TPR as much as possible. Point to your mouth when you speak. That helps them know. Obviously, cup your ear. Whatever you want them to speak, cup your ear. That signals to them that you want them to speak. Also, correct their language. One thing that was really I had to really carefully listen to when the level 5 in my mock class was speaking, because they want to speak. They want to engage with you in conversation. So my mentor, when she was acting like a level 5, she was getting all excited and she was talking all about McDonald's and everything. And I was laughing and enjoying the conversation. And I forgot to listen to correct her English. And in level 2, it was easier to correct the English because I was listening for that, and it was a more slow pace. But in level 5, they want to have that conversation, and it might be easy, I don't know, it was easy for me to get up in the conversation and enjoy that so much that I was not listening as carefully for, to correct their English, if that makes sense. So going back to using TPR, okay, that's the first tip, using that TPR, but also making sure you are listening carefully for making, their mistakes and making the corrections. But when you're making the corrections, make sure you are using gentle criticism, constructive criticism. So you don't want to make them feel bad. Just make sure that you are doing it in an encouraging way. Great job, that's very close. Let's try again. And when they make a mistake, when they're reading something on the screen, make sure you circle the word, and there's no reason for them to read the whole thing again. Just that one word, isolate that word, circle it, and say it again. If they say were instead of where, circle it, where. Or when I was having a conversation with the mentor in the level 5, they said likes instead of like, like. Good job, okay? So make sure you speak slowly and clearly. Think about if you're listening to someone from another country, if they're speaking French or Italian or Spanish or whatever, doesn't it sound like it's all coming at you at once and all flowing together? That's very hard to understand. I have a tendency to talk very quickly. You can hear me right now. I talk very, very fast in English. So it's very easy for me to start picking up the pace. And I have to remember and keep this in mind to start talking very slowly. Say one word at a time so that they can pick it up. They need to hear each word. Then have them answer you, okay? It will start to all blur together if you start talking really fast, okay? Make sure you say, read, let's read, not repeat. They understand let's read or read, okay? They don't understand everything, repeat. Let's see. Make sure you're interacting, the students are interacting with you. Use simplified instructions and vocabulary, and that's pretty clear on there. Show and tell, always demonstrate what you want the student to do. So you've heard before, I do, we do, you do. When the students have difficulty completing tasks, make sure you're demonstrating for them. And I know you've heard before that that's not doing it for them, that's how they learn. So we want to first do it for them, then do it with them, and then gradually release it to them. So, you know, you're talking, I mean, demonstrating it for them is how they learn. I mean, that's how we teach our kids in everyday life, you know. We're modeling it, and that's how they learn. So maybe by the end, you're just mouthing it. Okay, and you're just kind of walking them through it, and they will catch on. They will do it. They are smart. So, you know, gradually releasing that to them. Or you're drawing a line first, then erase it. Let them draw the line. Okay, or you draw the line and then say, you know, just make the gesture, you know, or I'm trying to think of an example. You know, if it starts with a letter, you know, what starts with, and hold it up. You know, if I'm holding up, I don't have a flashcard with me now, but, you know, pretend this was a flashcard. You know, this is a box of flashcards, but if you're saying, you know, what starts with, and you're modeling it first, then, you know, let them do it then. But when you're starting, you're modeling it for them. I think you get that. I have a tendency to over-explain. So we talked about that. Circle or draw a line first to show them. If they're not getting them, show it with the mouse. You know, that really clues them in. You know, if they're not drawing the line first, show them with the mouse. Draw a line. Circle, okay? A lot of times you can just do it with your finger. Less is more. If you can gesture or demonstrate, you don't need to say a word, okay? We want them talking the most. Sometimes if they're not speaking, you can say, I can't hear you. You know, and get them, or ask them a question, especially in level 5. Your mentor will talk a lot about extending the lesson, and that means asking questions that aren't necessarily in the lesson. So you want to extend that, especially, you know, just ask them questions about their day, or ask them questions that you might not be sure that they know. You know, what nationality are you? Where do you live? There's one of the lessons that I'm going to do, and you can check it out, My Country, My Culture, and, you know, ask, have you been, you know, have you been to the Yellow Mountains? Have you been, but you can ask that in any lesson, you know, just ask, you know, have you been there? Or, you know, whatever, you get it, but just extend that. You can use one word to instruct, don't use 2 words. Yes, simplicity. You know, they are not going to understand if you start rambling in English. You know, I tend to ramble in English, but we want to keep it as simple as possible. 1 word to 2 word instructions. 1 word is the best. That brings us to the 30-70 rule. Ideally, the student should be speaking for 70% of the class. We are not the ones that are trying to learn English. We should be speaking for the 30%, so as little as possible. So we want to use things like you say, or you speak, you circle, you try. You know, a lot of times I'll just point, you know, I'll model it, and then I'll, you know, point. You, circle, you know, or not say anything, you know, after I model it. So, and then if they're not speaking again, I can't hear you, you know, and then they'll remember that they're supposed to speak. Or what is this? And circle it on there. What do you see? Okay. So we talked about constructive criticism. Remember to focus on the lesson objectives. And that's always, you know, at the bottom of the lesson, we need to focus on the lesson objectives and not get too off of that. You know, we want to have a conversation with them, but we run out of time. You know, if you've done any mock classes, I mean, this is prep for mock classes, but if you're timing yourself, you know, there is not a lot of time. So we want to focus on those objectives, focusing on the target sentences and the words that we need to. So supplementary tools, you know, using props to support the overall lesson objective. So use as much of a variety as you can. I mean, obviously, you know, whiteboards, flashcards, puppets. Those are the most popular ones, but anything, I like to look at the slide and the PowerPoint and just see, you know, what do I have in the house? What do I have in the pantry? What do I have in the refrigerator? What do I have? Let's raid my 9-year-old's room. You know, she's a pack rat. If you have a kid that's a pack rat, that's the best. You know, try not to spend a lot of money. I know it's tempting. I love to have, you know, lots of creative, you know, tons of props, but you don't want to spend the money that you're making. You can get some things at the dollar store, Costco, Amazon's the best, but they can be a little pricey. So if you have kids, use what you can around the house. My kids are a little bit older, so it's really just my 9-year-old. She's the youngest that I can, you know, scrounge around her room and see what I can find. So just try to find what you can at the house, but the basics to have, you know, make sure you have flashcards, you know, the whiteboard, and maybe I got some really cheap wooden letter magnets from Amazon, but just, you know, keep it cheap, keep it inexpensive. Obviously make sure, you know, your headsets, I don't have them on right now, but your headsets are working. I got mine from Amazon, and again, they're not they're not, you know, the most expensive, but they're the ones that work. I think a lot of teachers have them, and that your camera is centered. They're really big on that. They want your camera to be centered. And I don't have a lot of background right now in this video, but you know, I have my VipKid, my teacher Ariel, and then a lot of people have what's trending now is the maps in the background. And then some people, you know, go all out and they decorate for the different holidays and everything, and you know, that's totally up to you. But really the most important is teaching. So your mock class will be 25 minutes of teaching, and basically how it goes is you have a little introduction, and then you have 2 lessons, and you're going to teach about 15 to 17 minutes of the first, and then you're going to have some feedback from your mentor, and then you're going to do the next lesson, and you're going to have some more feedback. So the whole thing is an hour, but you're really only teaching about 25 minutes of that, and your mentor will cut you off it is timed, and she will cut you off. So if you don't get through the whole lesson, then she will cut you off. So try to watch the time, and that's part of, you know, the evaluation, but just do your best. And practice, practice, practice. And what I did to practice, and I did really well on my mock 1, I basically watched a variety of, I you know, studied the emails and the tips from that they sent me, but I also watched the videos that they sent me, but I also watched a variety of videos on YouTube of different teachers, different mentors doing mock 1. So the mock 1 that I was given. And it really helps. I would suggest watching a variety, because if you just focus in on one person, you're going to be tempted to start copying and modeling after that one teacher. So I would suggest watching a variety so that you can really come into your own and develop your own personal teaching skills. Obviously, you want to do the main things that VipKid wants. You need to stick to the objectives. You need to use TPR. You need to use constructive criticism. You need to, you know, do the 30-70 rule, all that stuff that we went over. But come into your own teaching. You need to be yourself, really, you know. So I would watch a wide variety, learn the different things that they're teaching, and be your own person. Don't just watch one person's video and copy them and, you know, just follow them. So that would be my suggestion. So why is this mock class important? Well, we want to ensure that VipKid wants to ensure that their teachers are fully prepared. So this is really a privilege to be able to do this mock class. So it's not just that they're testing you, they want to prepare you. They want to give you feedback. They're giving you feedback. So ask your mentor questions. You know, this is an opportunity for you to really learn and grow. I loved doing my mock 1 class because I got to do it. I felt more confident. I felt more prepared. And I got to learn from someone who's been doing it longer than me. I mean, I took notes. You know, take out your piece of paper, your pencil, take notes, you know, and learn and grow from that opportunity. And practice makes perfect. So keep on doing it. Keep on practicing. So after your mock class, you'll receive your results within 48 hours. Well, they told me 24, and then I've heard 24 to 48, and then I actually didn't get my results until after 48 hours. So, so be patient, And, you know, preparation is essential. So just prepare, prepare, prepare. I mean, I ended up feeling like, okay, I can't prepare anymore. But every time I practiced, I thought of something new. So just practice, practice, practice. I practiced on my kids. I watched a lot of videos. I got a lot of props. And, you know, it just greatly enhances your chances of performing well. And every time you practice, you get more confident, and it allows for unseen problems. So, like I said, I ended up practicing thinking I was so prepared, and then I'd practice again and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to totally screw this up. So, and then I would think of more things that I needed to make better. So anyway, the most successful teachers have more than just a surface understanding of TPR and how to teach, and they will make their technique better and better and better. So anyway, trying to think if there's anything else. Try not to just focus on the lesson. This is not just getting through the lesson. This is dealing with people. And I have another profession as well, and I have my own business, and you can go to arielselwyn.com for that. And you can look at my blog and go to my recommendations to see, you know, what else I'm involved in. It's health and wellness. And it's about caring about people. That's why I bring that up. So in my health and wellness business, it's all about caring about people and their health and well-being. And it's same in VipKid. It's not just about the lesson, it's about caring about the people. So you really need to observe the students' needs and their responses and kind of cater to that. Now, we do need to keep an eye on the time, but you know, like I was saying, in the level 5, they want to have that conversation. So, you know, have that relationship with them, have that conversation with them, keep an eye on the time at the same time, and cater to their needs. You know, same with you know, all the levels, kind of cater to their needs. Some students are going to be very, very smart, go through the lesson a little bit faster. Some are going to struggle a little bit, slow down a little bit. So, and you know, I do have a little bit of teaching experience, and you really have to care about the student. You have to care about where they are. You have to care about their struggles, about, you know, they're going to excel if you care about them and their needs, is basically the point. So, again, know your objectives on each slide. Make sure they're very big about your background and your lighting and your mock. They want to make sure that the technology is good. So make sure that you have your lighting, your background, your technology is all good. One little thing, I did not have my headphones yet when I had my mock class, and I was borrowing my son's. If I was not able to borrow my son's, they were going to make me reschedule. So make sure you have your headphones and they're working. Make sure you have as many props as possible. Make sure that you're constantly using TPR. They say about 1 minute per slide. Make sure you're very energetic, enthusiastic, encouraging. The student's speaking about 70%. You're smiling, giving feedback. You know, not everyone is crazy energetic. You know, there's some teachers that are really, really, you know, in your face, energetic. Ah, you know, be yourself, but be engaging. You know, these are students that are online. They're young. You have to be, you know, I think of Sesame Street, you know, you have to keep their attention. Sesame Street was great at keeping students' attention or kids' attention. Why? Because they were, you know, there were these adults that were very animated, and, you know, of course they had puppets in between, but they were very animated as well. So anyway, I hope that helps. I am happy to help anyone get started with VipKid. Just drop me an email at ariel.selwyn@gmail.com. That's ARIEL is my first name, .SELWYN@gmail. And I'd love to help you get started. It's a great way to earn income from home. I get to stay home with my kids. You can also find out more about me and my story at arielselwyn.com. So, all right, thanks so much. I hope this was helpful.